Hello everybody and welcome to the 2012-2013 Lake Erie College Men's Basketball Preview Show here on LakeErieStorm.com. I'm Assistant Athletic Director Jason Tirotta, joined by veteran Storm men's head coach Cliff Hunt. And Coach, before we get into talking about this coming season, let's talk a little bit about last year's team. A 10-16 overall record, a squad that could be classified as a young team, but matured throughout the year and was competitive throughout.
Yeah, we had a tough season last year in terms of winning 10 games. You know, we want to be on the positive side of the 500 level, but it was a team that got better as the year went on. With only 2 seniors on the team, we thought that, overall we looked back and said it was a pretty solid year.
Now looking at the kids coming back, a number of returners, 4 starters off of last year's team coming back. Guys like Riley Thomas, Rich Austin, Tom Parker saw plenty of playing time in starting spots last year. Nate Tate banged up a little bit throughout the year, but he battled through some injuries. These were guys who battled through injuries, battled through adversities, were there the whole year. Talk about the level of experience that they gained last season.
We're certainly a lot more experienced right now than we were going into last year. With all those guys getting the minutes they did, it makes them much more ready to compete this year. A lot of times teams, coaches look and say, well, how many points do we have coming back? And so when we look at that, we say, well, we're certainly much more ready to play this year. We have maybe 80% of our points coming back. So we're certainly going to be a team that I think can score points. With Garrick Sims coming back off of his injury, we think in the middle we're going to be a much better rebounding team. Jordan Baker did a tremendous job for us, kind of thrown into a situation where we didn't expect him to be such a guy getting so many minutes, and he did a really good job. So we're certainly much more experienced, much more ready to, I think, compete in this level because of the kind of experiences that you mentioned the guys had. Nate and Riley and all those guys got minutes that should make them more ready to play this year.
And when you mentioned Garrick coming back and missing all of last season with the Achilles injury, that also affects other guys because that can slot Rich Austin into his number 4 spot, where I thought he had a really nice year playing out of position at undersized 5 a year ago. If he can slide back into that number 4 spot there on the floor, how confident do you feel about him having a big year?
We did play him out of position so much last year. There were a lot of circumstances going into that. Well about those with Matt Grindell and Jordan Baker sitting out those first 3 games, and then G going down with that injury. So we ended up starting him at the 4, and it was a disservice to him. It was something we had to do. Later, as the year progressed, and we were finally able, in the last maybe 6, 7, 8 games of the year, to just play him more as a 4. We put Matt Grindell, who originally had been a 4, and let him play the 5. Do you know what? Rich suddenly was a lot more comfortable and was much more productive. So for him to be able to be a 4 this year, we like to talk about him as maybe a 3.5 because he can step out on the perimeter and knock down some shots. That's going to help him a lot. It's going to help us a lot, and so we're happy about that for him, and I think it makes us a better team.
We talked a little bit about some of the guys coming back. Who are some of the new faces that we can expect to see some minutes early on in the season for you coming in this year's recruiting class, which seems to be very talented on paper?
We really like this class. The 3 headliners coming off are Steve Walczyk, 6'10" kid out of Olentangy High School. We also have Andy Bosley coming also out of Olentangy, one of their 3 schools, and Roy Alexander from Walnut Ridge. Those are our 3 freshmen that come in who were very highly recruited. We're excited to have them in the program. And honestly, we'll see how this plays out, but all 3 of them look like they're going to probably be in our rotation either sooner or later. But right now, of course, their heads swimming a little bit as freshmen at this level, but they all show signs of guys that are going to be able to help us. And the other 3 freshmen in that class, A.J. Henson, Eric Matheson, and Darren Lewis, are all real good players. We like them a lot, and they're helping us a lot in practice.
You talked about freshmen at this level. The level, of course, is the NCAA Division II level. We're kind of now full along in the process with a full recruiting class of full-time Division II athletes now. Our 3rd year entering the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. What has it been like from a coach's perspective of trying to build and develop your program at this level while playing in one of the toughest conferences in the country?
It's been a brutal transition. We're certainly not going to make any bones about that. We were a very good Division III program, but then when you go to the Division II level, which is the GLIAC is a full scholarship league. Everybody funds their men's basketball programs to the NCAA maximum, And so we've been transitioning into that as we did our rollout. Now we're up to full funding, but we're kind of in a second phase to me of building, because now at this point, while we were up to full funding, as we were approaching that, we were dividing things up and mixing and matching to try to get the most players. Now we're able to, we think, recruit guys that are appropriate for this league. We like our team. I think it's the most talented Division II team that we've had here at Lake Erie. But the proof is in playing the games and getting the wins. We need to step up and compete for 40 minutes and get our share of wins this year to continue that progress.
That'll be on November the 9th. Coach, a couple of closing thoughts here on the upcoming season, and just what can we expect from the Storm men's squad this year?
We, of course, are a team that likes to play 94 feet. We're a team that's going to pick you up and guard you for the whole range of the floor, and then we want to push it back the other direction and get some easy baskets if we can. If not, the test of us is going to be, can we run offense on the quarter court against the best teams in the GLIAC and get great shots? If we can, we're going to be there all year long and be really good. And until we can do that, we're going to be in that process of getting better, because we need to be able to do that in this league. This is a half-court league for the most part. We're really kind of a little bit of an exception. We probably play a little more full court, a little more up-tempo than most teams, which we think gives us an advantage. We also probably play more people than most teams do in our league. We're going to go 10 or 11 into our rotation, where a lot of teams in our league are, they're like a 7-man, 6.5, 7-man rotation. So we kind of like the fact that we're a little different than other teams. We play more people, we play a little bit faster on defense, and if we get really good at what we're doing, we think it's going to be an interesting year. We feel like this is a big year for us. We thought last year we got better, we got stronger, but we feel like this is our year to compete. With the realignment of the GLIAC having a South with Walsh and Malone coming in, Wayne State leaves the South. We're kind of happy about that. And now the North, our division has Findlay, Ashland are the two returning teams with the most players coming back. And then, of course, you can't rule out Hillsdale. They're always good. So, we think we can play with all those guys, and we're in it to win it.
All right, that's Coach Cliff Hunt of the men's basketball team. This has been the Storm men's basketball preview. We hope you enjoyed watching this, and then you also join us here at the Jerome T. Osborne Center on November 1st for our men's and women's basketball season preview night. Doors open at 6:30 with the event starting at 7. Free admissions. We've got dunk contests, 3-point shootouts, free t-shirts for the first 200 fans. So we hope you make that night a part of your Storm watching for this upcoming season. The season tips off for real November 14th at the Osborne Center against Point Park. For Cliff Hunt, I'm Jason Tirotta. Thanks for watching LakeErieStorm.com, and rage on.